Welcome back. As of now, we have implemented routing in this application. In this video, we will implement the user list table. Okay. So in a user list, here we need to add the table. Let's look for the HTML table from W3 school. Okay. We can copy this HTML in our user list component at this place. Okay, I will remove the extra rows from here, and I need to copy the styles also, the CSS also. As these CSS are generic for table, I can keep the CSS in app.css, because all the other CSS file are CSS module, so that will not be a render. Okay, so whatever we write the class name in the CSS module file, we need to use it in this way. Okay, that's why I keep that table style in app.css file. Okay, I am saving this. Let's check. Okay, so it is showing. Okay, let's check what are the columns. So in first column we have to give serial number, then name, email, and action. Okay, and I'm closing the other tab. Serial number, name, again email and action. Email and action. Okay, fine. Now what we need is, we already have API here, so we can use the same API again. Else I will tell you how we can yeah, actually we have to create that, so I will let you know in next video. But for now, let's add here button, or okay, keep it action. Okay, now just create one. Actually here we are going to show some data, and that data is from Redux store. So what we need is, we need to create a slice file. Okay, let's create that. I will name user slice.ts. So whatever like the slice file or the API service file, all that we will keep in user folder itself. So whenever we wanted to move the whole application or the only a module, so we no need to copy the whole application. We can copy the user folder and paste it in any other other application, and we can just call that. So yeah, in user slice, uh, in a Redux toolkit video, we have seen how we need to write user slice. Okay, so first user slice, then we have to use like slice, create slice. Create slice is a function. There we need to provide name. I will name it user. Then here the initial state. Okay, we need to use here create constant initial state. Okay, so in initial state or the in state of the user, will have list. Okay, and status of list status. List status means nothing but whether list is ready, uh, or it's in a like a loading state, all that. So I can mention loading or ideal or error. Okay, oh sorry, here, yeah, we can write in this way as well. So this is the initial state. Now we will create type for initial state. Okay, it's interface and I user state. In I user state we will have list of I user, means I am creating this interface for initial state. Okay. I user, and again we need to create interface I user, and I user will have ID, which is a number, then name, which is a string, email ID, which is a string. Okay, and the list is a I user array. Okay. And again list status we have, which will be enum of API status. I can give any name here. I will keep API status, and in API status we will have few text like loading, ideal, or success, or error. Okay, and I will use this at this place, and in I user state, and in initial state I will refer it from the enum API status dot ideal. Okay, fine. And here we need reducers. We have to add reducers. So reducer are nothing but like object. So as we don't have any action now, we can keep it as it is. Okay, and we need to export default from user slice. We have to export reducer. Okay, okay, fine. Again I will do one thing. I will move this all the types in a type file. Let's create one file here, user type, user dot type dot ts file, and here I will copy all the things related to interface and related to user, and everything interface in them all will I like export, removing it from here and importing from user type. So it looks clean now. So all the types whatever we have to mention we will write in type file, and we will use that in a user slice. Okay, so our user slice file is ready. We need to add this slice in our store file here as a user and user reducer. Okay, so user reducer, and we need to import this, import user reducer from module user and user slice. Okay, do you mean import user reducer? Yeah, because there we have imported uh, exported as default. So that's why we need to use in this way. If we just export it without default, then we need to mention in this way. Okay, fine. So now our user slice is registered in the store. Let me create one default list of user here for temporary purpose. Const default list, okay, which is of type iUser list. iUser of list. It's an array of object, and here I mention id1, name some Bob, and email as bob@gmail.com. Again, create one more record with id to Sam, and email is sam@gmail.com. So first we will render these records on UI in table, and after that, once it is done, we will fetch the records from the JSON Server fake API. Fine. We have to use it here. Instead of list, I will write default list, and I exported it from the from the user types. Okay. Now I need to use it in a user list here. So how we have to use? So here we have hooks file. Okay. So from here, if we use app selector, from here we will get uh, all the states from the store. So whatever we mention here, we can get that by using use app selector. Okay, let's write that use app selector. So it will give us a arrow function. In arrow function, we have state here, which will be of root state. Okay, root state I mentioned in a Redux Toolkit video. We have to use root state. It will hold all the states of the reducers. Okay, and from state we will need user only. So if you want specific to list or list status, we can mention it here. As I want all the state of user, okay, that's why I'm using user. Okay, I will do one thing. For now I need only two, so I will take only two, that is user, sorry, list and list status from user state. Okay, as I have here, let's console it. Console.log list, and again console.log list status, and check what it is printing. Okay, as you can see here, our records are getting printed on the console. Okay, and one is the enum, one is for the enum whatever we mentioned. Okay, okay, fine. So let me delete it. Now we need to render all the records. How we do that? We use map. Okay, then in map I will get here user, which is of type I user. Okay, and arrow function, here I need to return the table row. Okay, So I can use the serial number. I think I can get index also, else I can, yeah, index. Let's check. Index is a number, so I will print here index. Then second column is for name. I will print here name from user dot name. Third, email. So name, sorry, user dot email. And fourth, we have action. So nothing from the user model. Let's save it and check. Yeah, so you can check the record from our Redux, uh, the user slice file or the user states are rendered here. Okay. We need to do something here because it is showing 0 and 1. Let me add +1 in it. Yeah, now it looks good. Okay, so in next, okay, so what we achieved now is, so here in user slice we have the list, and according to that list we are showing that in a user list component. And what are other scopes, in next video we will check like how to create a JSON server, and after that we can use that. Instead of this, we will fetch the records from the JSON server fake API, and it will automatically show on the UI. Before that, let me tell you one more thing. I need to use list status. So here we have mentioned ideal. Okay, so whenever like user state what is that? Okay, list status equals to API status dot ideal, then only I need to show this one. Okay. I need to show this one. Else, if it is loading, I will show the loading message. List status equals to API status dot loading. Okay. So here in a table body, we can show message like list is loading, and if status is error, we will show message like error while loading list. Okay, let's change the default state now. Instead of ideal, I will type loading. Okay, so it is showing list is loading, and if I make it error, it will show error while loading list. Okay, let me keep it ideal, then it is showing the list. Okay, let's start set up the JSON server for fake API.